So since today is the 85th anniversary of when Superman first appeared in comic books, I thought we'd talk about Superman comics today. Oh, sorry. It's Rev Kev, in case the glasses threw you off. Hey there everybody, it's Rev Kev. Welcome back to my Geek Corner channel. So great to have you all here today. And today, I want to talk about Superman comic books. This here that you see beside me is my Superman comic book collection. Now, it's far from complete, and what I decided to do is gonna do a segment here on my channel just talking Superman comics from time to time. I'm gonna open up some boxes, kind of show you some of my favorite issues, show off my collection a little bit. But today is the 85th anniversary of when Superman first appeared in Action Comics #1. Now, what's absolutely crazy with that number 85 is I remember as clear as day the 50th anniversary of Superman. In fact, I was in grade 10. I was in high school and I had to do an oral presentation, and I hated public speaking. And I did my oral presentation, and parts of it I actually even still remember deep down in my brain. I did my presentation on the 50th anniversary of Superman, and I basically plagiarized my presentation out of this Time magazine article. So Mr. Pagnotta, if you are listening to this video, I cheated and I plagiarized that presentation out of this Time magazine. So if you need to flunk me and I need to go back to high school, I understand. So 35 years sure goes by pretty fast. And so what I wanted to do today is I kind of kick this new series off talking about my Superman comic collection. Is I wanted to show you the comic book that started it all. This is Superman #2 by John Byrne and Terry Austin. Now, I was not collecting Superman comics when this came out in 1987. I pretty much in 1987, the only comic books I was buying was Star Wars. I don't think the Marvel run had finished by then, and if it had finished, I was collecting old back issues in order to complete the 107 issues of Marvel's Star Wars comic, and wasn't into Superman at all. But my family was going on vacation. I think we were going on camping with my dad. So I don't even remember the exact event that we were going to, but we stopped at the comic book shop and I picked a stack of comics to bring with me to read for the week when we were going on vacation. And this just happened to be one of the comics that I happened to grab. And honestly, what caught my attention about it was the cover. So here you got, Lex Luthor, who I didn't even realize was Lex Luthor at the time, because for me, Lex Luthor was always the scientist in the purple and green armor, not the John Byrne Superman villain of Lex Luthor as a corrupt businessman, which was a great concept, which is still used even to this day. That was created in 1986, 1987. And so, but it was this whole, the secret is revealed, and this big, giant, massive supercomputer that calculates and computes the identity of Superman. And with just this first issue, well, issue #2 in the Superman series, I was completely hooked. I loved this story. And what I loved about it, spoiler, I'm going to give you the ending, but it's like 40 years old, so it should be okay. Lex Luthor rejects the finding of this computer. This lady here builds this supercomputer. They put in all this data about Superman, and this computer spits out that Superman is Clark Kent, long before AI and all the stuff we're talking about now. And Lex Luthor goes, "You're fired, shut this computer down, tear it apart. What a waste of money, because no one with the godlike power of Superman would ever humble himself to be someone like Clark Kent." And that just spoke to me on so many levels. Like Lex Luthor's pride and his arrogance, the humility of Superman and Clark Kent. So this began my journey that eventually turned into this. So right from this issue, then I went back and I found John Byrne's Man of Steel miniseries. Love that, and I'll show you that in another video. found issue number 1 and then realized there's more than just one Superman title. At the time there was Superman, there was Action Comics, and there was The Adventures of Superman. So 3 monthly titles to get into these adventures of Superman. And so really this Superman number 2 is the one that started it all for me. And so over the course of this, here on my channel, I'm going to like crack this open. We're going to check these out. I'm going to show you some of my favorites. I'm going to show you what I'm doing now. And I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. And the reason why these are all out of storage is because I've got about a 12-year gap from 1987 to today. There was about 12, almost maybe even 14 years where I stopped collecting Superman comics because in 1998 I got engaged and I had a wedding to plan and wanted to buy a house. And in 1998 I was Star Wars obsessed, and all my play money was going into Star Wars Episode 1 that was being released. So I wasn't spending any money on comic books. It was all Star Wars Episode 1, gearing up for that launch in 99. So because I've got this 14-year gap now, what I'm doing, instead of buying new stuff, I'm still buying new stuff. I did pick up Superman Lost that we'll talk about. But what I'm doing now is I'm filling in my gaps. And so the first big gap that I've started filling out is Rebirth. When DC Comics went through their DC Universe rebirth after kind of the failed New 52, I still wasn't collecting Superman by that point. At that point, I was just collecting Marvel. I was collecting all the Avengers comics because of how much I love the MCU movies. And what's been really cool about this lot is like some of the big pulls, the ones that are kind of worth some money, were actually in here for quite affordable because I was gifted. My son bought me these as a gift. Got all 45 issues of Rebirth. And so this is really exciting to now add into my boxes here. So that's what I'm doing now with the collection. I'm filling in the gaps. I'm going to be going on this journey for the next few years of hunting down probably like the 350 comics that I'm missing to complete my collection from 1987 to today. So that's just a quick little Superman video as we celebrate the 80th anniversary. Would love to know what you think about Superman comics. Do you collect them? Do you have a favorite series, a favorite author, a favorite artist? Put that down in the comment section below. And as always, I so appreciate all of you being a part of the community here. All the funds go to help support kids in Guatemala through Compassion Canada. And look forward to getting on this Superman journey with all of you here in my Geek Corner. So until the next video, God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.